Hi friends, welcome back on our YouTube channel. In the current lecture of classical mechanics, we will discuss about constants and their classification. So, here we will discuss about constant forces, properties of constant forces, classification of constant, and also some examples related to constants. So first of all, constant forces. Now, what is constant force? In many real life situations, the object in motion is restricted or constrained to move in such a way that its coordinates and or velocity component must satisfy some prescribed relations at every instant of time. Constants are actually restrictions that limit the motion of the particles of a system. Physically, constant motion is realized by forces which arise when the object in motion is in contact with constraining surfaces or curves, and these forces are called constant forces. Now, what are the properties of constant force? So, the properties of constant forces, first one is they are elastic in nature and appear at the surface of contact. They are so strong that they barely allow the body under consideration to deviate even slightly from a prescribed path or surface, and this prescribed path or surface is actually our constraint. The effect of constant force is to keep the constant relations satisfied. So, these are the properties of constant forces. Now, how can we classify the constraint? First classification is scleronomic or rheonomic. Now, what are these constraints? If the constant relation do not explicitly depend on time, then such constraints are known as scleronomic constraint. And if the constant relations depend explicitly on time, or the constraints which are not scleronomic, then such constraints are known as rheonomic constraint. So, scleronomic constraint do not explicitly depend on time, whereas rheonomic constraint depends explicitly on time. Now, next classification is holonomic or non-holonomic constraint. If the constraint relations are made independent of velocities, then such constraints are known as holonomic. And if the constraint relations are not holonomic, it means they depend on velocities, then such constraints are non-holonomic. So, holonomic constraints are independent of velocities and non-holonomic constraints depends on velocities. It means holonomic constraints are independent of x dot, y dot, z dot, where x dot is dx by dt, y dot is dy by dt, and z dot is dz by dt. It means these are the components of velocities along their respective sides or along x, y and z directions respectively. Now, next constraint is conservative or dissipative. If the total mechanical energy of the system is conserved, while performing the constant motion, then such constraints are known as conservative constraints. So, in conservative constraints, the total mechanical energy of the system is conserved. And in this case, the constraint forces do not do any work. So, in conservative constraint, the total mechanical energy of the system is conserved while performing the constraint motion, and in this case, the constraint force do not do any kind of work. If the constraint force do work and the total mechanical energy is not conserved, then such constraints are known as dissipative constraints. So, on the basis of conservation of total mechanical energy, there are two types of constraints. One is conservative constraint and another one is dissipative constraint. Next one is bilateral or unilateral constraint. If at any point on the constraint surface both forward and backward motion are possible, it means the constraint relation are not in the form of inequalities, they are in the form of equations. Then such constraints are known as bilateral constraint. So in case of bilateral constraint, forward and backward motion, both kinds of motions are possible. If at some point no forward motion is possible, then constraint relations are expressed in the form of inequalities. Then such constraints are known as unilateral constraint. So in case of unilateral constraint, only forward motion is possible, whereas in case of bilateral constraint, both forward and backward motions are possible. Next one is examples of constraints. So now we will discuss some examples which is related to constraint. Now, first example is rigid body. What is rigid body? A system of particles in which the distance between any pair of particles remain constant in time. Suppose this is a body and here we have some particles. So, on applying external force, the distance between these particles does not change with time. Then this body is known as rigid body. Equation of motion of rigid body is constant by Ri minus Rj equal to constant. Ri is the position vector of ith particle, Rj is the position vector of jth particle, and in case of rigid body, there is no change between any pair of particles. So, the equation of motion of such type of body is given by Ri minus Rj equal to constant. Since this constant relation do not explicitly depend on time, so this constraint is actually a scleronomic constraint. Since it does not depend on velocity and it is also in the form of equation, so it is holonomic and bilateral constraint. Because it is in the form of equation, so this is bilateral constraint and it does not depend on velocity, so this is holonomic constraint. Now, if we square this, then Ri minus Rj whole square equal to constant. On differentiating this equation, twice of Ri minus Rj into del Ri minus del Rj. So del of Ri minus Rj, and the differential of constant is 0. So this is twice Ri minus Rj dot del Ri minus Rj equal to constant. Or if we transfer 2 here to here, then Ri minus Rj dot del Ri minus Rj equal to 0. Let internal force on ith particle due to jth particle is Fij. Fij is the internal force on ith particle due to jth particle. Now, from Newton's third law, Fij is equal to minus Fji. Because Newton's third law is actually action reaction law. So, the amount of force which is applied by jth particle on ith particle will be equal and opposite to the force which is applied by ith particle on jth particle. So, Fij is equal to minus Fji. Now, work done by Fij due to displacement del Ri of the ith particle, Fij dot del Ri equal to minus Fji dot del Ri. So, we multiplied with del Ri on either side of this equation, and here we are actually taking the dot product. So, Fij dot del Ri is equal to minus Fji dot del Ri. Now, the total work done by the system, del W is equal to sigma ij, I is not equal to j, Fij dot del Ri, or this will be equal to sigma ij, j is greater than I, Fij dot del Ri plus Fji dot del Rj. But Fij is equal to minus Fij. So, if we substitute Fji by negative Fij, then del W equal to sigma ij, j is greater than I, Fij dot del Ri minus Rj. Since all Fij are the internal forces which arises due to interaction between all possible pair of particles, so Fij will act parallel to the line joining ith and jth particle, and therefore Fij equal to Cij into Ri minus Rj. Here Cij is any constant. So here Cij's are real constant and symmetric in I and j. Now, del W is given by this equation, and Fij equal to Cij Ri minus Rj. So, if we replace this Fij by Cij Ri minus Rj, then del W equal to sigma ij, j is greater than I, Cij Ri minus Rj dot del Ri minus Rj. But Ri minus Rj dot del Ri minus Rj equal to 0. So, this will be 0, and therefore del W equal to 0. It means no work is done by constant force, and such constant is known as conservative constraint. Since no mechanical work is done by constant force, so the constant of rigidity is conservative in nature. Thus, the constant of rigidity is scleronomic, holonomic, bilateral, and conservative in nature. Now, Our next example is deformable body. A body whose distance between particles changes with time is known as deformable bodies. So the bodies whose shape can change is known as deformable body. It means on applying external force on a body, its shape changes. So Ri minus Rj is a function of time because the distance between particle changes with time. So Ri minus Rj equal to f of t or function of time. Here Ri and Rj are position vectors. And also del W is not equal to 0 in this case, because here if we differentiate this equation, then this term will not be 0 because it depends on time. So the mechanical work will be done by external force. So this constraint is actually dissipative constraint. Since here the constraint relation depends on time, so it is rheonomic. It does not depend on velocity, so it is holonomic. It is also bilateral because it is in terms of equation, and dissipative because here the work done by constant force is not 0. So this constraint is rheonomic, holonomic, bilateral and dissipative. Now next one is simple pendulum with rigid support. The position of bob at any time is magnitude r square is equal to x square plus y square plus z square. So this is actually the position of bob at any time. Here r is position vector and this will be equal to L square. L is the length of pendulum. L is length of string connecting to the bob, which is actually the length of pendulum. Now, here we are showing a pendulum and this is a bob and this is our string and this one is rigid support. The tension in the string is always towards this point. Tension in the string T is parallel to minus R and R is actually the position vector, and position vector is measured from this point. So the tension in the string T is parallel to minus R or it is antiparallel to vector R. So del W equal to T dot del R. Now, if we differentiate this equation, then twice R dot del R equal to 0 because L is length of a string and this does not depend on time or it is constant and the differential of constant is 0. So on differentiating this equation we get twice R dot del R equal to 0 or del R equal to 0 because vector R is not equal to 0. So del R equals to 0 and del R equals to 0, it means del W equals to 0. So there is no work done by the constant force and hence it is conservative constraint. So this is the case of scleronomic, holonomic, bilateral and conservative constraint because the constraint relation does not depend on time or it is independent of time, it does not depend on velocity, it is in the form of equation, and the work done is 0. So, this is the case of scleronomic, holonomic, bilateral, and conservative constraint. The next one is pendulum with variable length. The position of bob at any time, magnitude r square equal to L square, and here r is a function of time because the length of pendulum is variable. So L is a function of time. This is our bob, this is the string, and this one is rigid support. Now tension in string is always towards this point. So tension in string T is parallel to minus r vector. So del W equals to T dot del R, and since this is function of time, so if we differentiate it, then twice r dot del R is not equal to 0, or r dot del R is not equal to 0. And if del R is not equal to 0, then del W is not equal to 0. So del W is not equal to 0. It means this is dissipative constraint. So this is the case of ergonomic, holonomic, bilateral and dissipative constraint, because it is in the form of equation. So bilateral constraint, total mechanical work is not 0, or the work done by constraint force is not 0. So this is dissipative constraint. So pendulum with variable length is the case of ergonomic, holonomic, bilateral and dissipative constraint. So here we end our session. In today's session, we have discussed about classification of constraint, some example related to constraint, and what is constraint force. So goodbye.